Now we're going to have a kind of special speech. It will be a double speech made by duo Glen and Ken, and they will tell you about cooperation and about a subtitle of our conference, which is Giants of Galicia. Just like I told you already, we are in a very special city, made by history, to be honest, and there are some really important connections between past and present times. And these guys will also tell you about that. So, Glen and Ken.
Okay. Hello, Liberty lovers. Hey, welcome to Galicia. This place is really special for me for many reasons. One reason is that this is one of my first ISIL-LI World Conferences took place just about here. Can you see Poprad in Slovakia? What was that, 1992? Yeah. That wasn't my first ISIL conference, but it was really important because I met people from Poland and from this region. I got inspired to study more about Austrian economics, and I got inspired to be more active. You know, to get off my butt, stop talking, and start acting. Find a project, do a project, spread freedom. So here we are, 25 years later, back in Galicia. I've been here many times since then. I've met a lot of wonderful people. My first visit in Poland was to Krakoff, and Krakoff looked a lot different in 1992. What we've seen is the triumph of capitalism in Poland. So it's exciting to be here, and as I did more research about Austrian economics, and the individuals, I quickly learned that Karl Menger and von Mises were born in Galicia and lived in Galicia. And Hayek was not far away in Vienna. Milton Friedman was born in the US, but his parents came from Galicia. So that's what it looks like on the map. So today's map, of course, doesn't show Galicia, and I had never heard of it. But I just thought that was pretty cool, that all these people who we admire came from Galicia. And also, by chance, my mother's parents came from Galicia at the eastern tip of Slovakia. So, I more recently learned in the last year of some new interesting people, and I need to study more about these individuals. You'll hear more about them this week. Who has heard of the Krakoff School of Economics? We've all heard of the Austrian school, but the Krakoff school is being researched and publicized and documented by our Galician friends of today. They'll tell you more about that. So when I was putting all this together, preparing to come here for the visit, I just thought, wow, that's really amazing that all this stuff happened here and it's now related to freedom today. And that's why I thought of the name Giants of Galicia. I just thought that was cool. So I want to tell you a little bit about my current project, which grew out of the contacts I made, the friends I made, the colleagues that I made through ISIL and LI. I met Ken and Virgus and Mary and Jim and many of the other wonderful people here in the room. In 2005, we formed an organization called Language of Liberty Institute, based in the US. Our major activity is liberty camps and seminars. These are 2 to 5 day events where we study classical liberal thinking and entrepreneurship, and we do it in the English language. Our management team is, besides me, is Andy. Andy, wait, raise your arm. Wait, there's Andy. And Jacek. I think you all know Jacek. So they help me organize these wonderful events. We've now been to 29 countries, and we've done more than 70 programs. And many of you in the room have attended a Liberty Camp. Yeah. And many of you have been teachers at a Liberty Camp. And many of you are sponsors of a Liberty Camp. And many of you are organizers, local partners of a Liberty Camp. So this is really fantastic because our Liberty family has grown and grown and grown through world conferences and Liberty camps and many other wonderful events. And I just want to point to country number 29, Nepal. Kasanta, where are you? 2 weeks ago we were in Nepal for the first time. Kasanta did a wonderful job. Our new local partner in Nepal, he's a wonderful organizer and a great guy, and it's a real pleasure to be working with you now. That's what it looks like on the map. This is a typical year's schedule, seminars and conferences and Liberty camps. Next year, if I see you all somewhere, I hope on this list will be Kurdistan. Yay! Plus Nepal, plus Poland, plus Morocco, plus other wonderful places. Brazil. Pedro says we should come to Brazil. Sounds good to me. That's a big place. Maybe I'll just live there. We have a lot of fun at the camps. It's really informal. We speak in English. We discuss classical liberal ideas, the history, the philosophy, the economics, the entrepreneurship. Our aim is to give young people tools for understanding better the world, which will give them more opportunities in life and therefore more freedom. Tools such as communication skills, understanding of liberal ideas, understanding of the principles of free market economics. Because if you understand these things, you understand better how the world works, and that gives you more opportunity and more freedom. We have some exciting new projects started, some coming, and my colleagues will tell you more about these. What you see on this slide is Project Arizona. That's a big Jacek project. He's going to talk about that probably a lot.
Participants of Project Arizona here.
Participants for Project Arizona. Okay? I'm not going to go into this because Jacek will tell you a lot about it. We have a new documentary started, and Martin and Jacek will tell you about that. It's a documentary of the life of Anisis. So we're really excited about this new project. It's a big project. And finally, we are officially announcing here today the beginning of a Liberty Hub. And that's another topic for Jacek to discuss. So you're all invited to join us for any of these. You're always welcome to come to a camp. We probably can't pay you to do that. You'll probably have to pay. But I just want you to know that you're always invited. You're always welcome wherever we are. Look at our events page, our calendar, and see what's coming up. And send us a note and say, hey Glenn, hey Jacek, I'm going to be there. Can I come? And we'll always say yes. Only $1 million. You can donate, you can support, you can provide scholarship money, you can be a teacher, you be a student, be a local organizer. The way we expand to new countries is to find new local partners at events such as ISIL conferences. So let's all work together, keep working together to spread freedom everywhere. And we can consider in some ways Galicia to be our home. We get our inspiration here and we meet one another here. So I'm going to stop now so that you can hear some words from the Galician giants of today and tomorrow. And let's start with Mr. Spendal.
Thank you, Glenn. I'm very, very glad about this growth of Language of Liberty Institute, and as we pointed out yesterday, but for a smaller audience, today is a larger audience, this growth is possible thanks to the early stage parenting, I would say, from the Liberty International. And today, Language of Liberty Institute is no more a child, it's an adult organization that is doing a lot in many countries and spreading the ideas of freedom around the world. I want to tell you about one of these projects that maybe you didn't hear before about. You heard about Liberty camps from Glen and other at other Liberty International conferences, I want to tell you about another project that Language of Liberty Institute is involved. It's actually a project of my two organizations. This one, and I'm having an honor to be CEO of Freedom and Entrepreneurship Foundation, and Language of Liberty Institute, where I am COO, recently nominated. So the project that is a child of two organizations is called Project Arizona. Who knows what is Project Arizona? Oh, many of you, that's awesome. And I see at least 3 alumni of Project Arizona here. I see Carolina, Mira, Artur, sorry, 4, Tomek, 4 of them at the audience now. So I try to be brief and give you very condensed information about what is Project Arizona. It is basically an educational program for young people from all over the world. We do not have any limitations, maybe except Americans, I'm sorry, because it's about learning American values, right? So they should know these values already. American values as they were coined by the founders, of course. So people from around the world, young, meaning between 20 to 30 years old, they come for 3.5 months to sunny Phoenix, Arizona, in the good period of time, which is winter, not in the crazy summer when it's too hot. And why do they come? They come to become better leaders, inspired by powerful example. And Phoenix, Arizona, it is a place where the example of freedom is especially shining. It's not perfect, but relatively speaking, it is good example. People there have a mentality that they are not relying on the state for their living. They don't ask government, what should I do, or give me a job. They rather think, my life is a result of my work and my choices. And this basic presumption is already very important. So they are not products of welfare state. So many of them these days we see everywhere around the world. And there is still pretty good climate for business. Relatively lower taxes, less regulation, and you can see the effect. Phoenix is booming. Arizona is getting more people. Not only because of the climate, which is pretty good, at least for 8 months out of 12 of the year. But the big reason is that it is a state where you can enjoy more freedoms, with economic freedom coming as a first. And a lot of them come from California, which has, let's be honest, better climate than Arizona. And we do Project Arizona there in southwest of the United States, because this is the very place where you can inspire young people with powerful example. And what they do, they do internships in various places, usually pro-free market organizations, law firms that are dedicated to libertarian ideas, and other organizations. They get classes at Arizona State University Center for Political Thought and Leadership, which is conservative libertarian autonomous unit within ASU. And 3 days a week they have classes, mostly about American history there. They go for various conferences, usually libertarian, sometimes free market conservative, where they meet a lot of influential people, think tank leaders, businessmen, sometimes even free market oriented politicians. Yes, they exist on local level in Arizona, and some of them are pretty hardcore, like Jakub Kulesza, our member of parliament from Poland. There's a lot of activities, volunteering. They are knocking doors and talking to average Americans about fruits of free entrepreneurship, about the value of freedom in our lifetime. That freedom can be translated into better life of average person. It's not an abstract. It's not only in the books. It's not just for philosophers. It's good for every single citizen. And they can learn how American democracy works that way. So spending 3.5 months in Phoenix, in this environment of freedom, and being very, very busy, spreading the ideas, learning the ideas, and living through these ideas, they come back as different people. And they are full of this freedom energy to spread it even better more effective in their own countries. We select true leaders, people who are not bored with their life, who don't want just to spend nice time in nice place, because it's a busy time. They must work hard. But if you are passionate for freedom, you don't feel tired because you love it. So that's Project Arizona. We did it already twice, in 2017 and 2018, and right now we are recruiting for 2019 edition, or class of 2019, which will take place between late January and late April 2019. Applications are open until the end of this month. So if you know anybody who might be a good candidate, who is passionate for freedom, speaks and writes English, who is still hungry for exciting program that can change his or her life, please make sure to tell them about Project Arizona. Or maybe if you are one of these people, if you can fit into this scheme I mentioned, make sure to apply. If you want to talk to me about this, I will be available during the entire conference.
Sponsors.
And I want to thank sponsors. There are a number of them at this audience for their contributions, because without you, Project Arizona is not possible. It costs $6,500 per student, and this is too much for students from developing countries, and they usually come from poorer developing countries. So thanks to your contributions, and we take only private money, no single stolen money from taxes, to realize this project. And we welcome new sponsors as well. And thanks to Liberty International, we can offer tax-deductible donations. The donations you make will be tax-deductible, because Liberty International is our collaborator, and they handle the financial side. They make sure that these taxes are deducted. So thank you, the existing sponsors, and I also welcome the new sponsors if they come. Thank you very much, and I think we will be now shifting the microphone to Marcin, who will mention Mrs. the movie. Not?
I will do it later.
Marcin will do it later. I'm giving the microphone to Ken Schoolland now. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm really glad to know that Arizona is where that the inspiration comes for freedom, because I grew up in Arizona, and it must explain everything. I want to say something about other projects that have been used for outreach to promote free market ideas. As you may know, my wife and I have been long involved with Liberty International, and she in particular has promoted a lot of ideas through her seminars and conferences and activities around the world. And I'd like her to just briefly say something about her now 9 years of Austrian economic seminars in Northeastern University in Shenyang, China. Each year reaching 120 students. Also several conferences she's organized for ISIL, now Liberty International, through in Shanghai and Bratislava and Bali, Morocco. Won't you say something about it?
Okay, as you all know, China is still a very much a communist country, so it's a very great thing that 10 years ago we broke through into China. So we're able to teach free market economics in China every year. And we just completed the 9th year. This year we had students, quite a few, 4 from Poland. And I had students from Mongolia, from Japan, from Taiwan, from Czech Republic, and 1 student from Liberland last year. And it became international. At the beginning was only Chinese students, and now it's an international event. And next year we're going to celebrate our 10th anniversary. And throughout these 10 years, many of the renowned economists joined me, and we have Patrick here today, and he's been with us 2 years already, and it's difficult, but I wouldn't want to give up, because we're the only team that's teach free market economics in China, entire China. They might have one or two big name professors come to China for one lecture at one university. Not like us, I usually bring about 7, 8, sometimes 10, mostly very published and known free market economists to come to teach for 1 week. And I make them work a lot, so they have to teach like 7 classes a day or something like that. They all did it voluntarily, and it's a great thing, and I'm going to just keep pushing, won't let them cut us off. So at least some Chinese people still have a window to see the differences, to learn the differences, to hear about different voices. And I don't ask for donation. I don't, we're just, if you believe, I want your prayers and support. And so that's one of the main things we're doing in China.
Okay, another project. By the way, I have to say that we owe the long-term development of the Language of Liberty Institute to this guy over here, Virgis Daukas, who first started the camps back in 1992, 93, and we first met up and went to the first ISIL conference in Poprad. Together, that's where we met Mary and others who've been involved with this, but he's the one that really was the spark for what became many of the things in this region. Through the Liberty International, I've been very fortunate to have found contacts for the publication of a book that has promoted free market ideas around the world now, and with more than 80 editions in more than 50 languages, with various plays. I have to say that the Polish edition of the book has been published twice in Poland, and the current edition was published by Chris Hallidus. Where are you, Chris? Chris, he's not here, okay, at the moment. And the English edition is being published, the English edition is both being published by Chris here in Poland, a youth edition, full-color illustration, hardcover with an audio CD, and what we call the university edition that I use in my university classes. And there's an educator's edition as well that's being published with commentary along the way. So it's very, very useful in promoting free market ideas. I recommend it. And that has also been used in theater. It has toured 5 countries of Africa with Adedayo Thomas producing with a cast of 25 to 30 people touring around Africa, using the stories from Jonathan Dellable to promote free market ideas. And also in Slovakia, it was produced as a play that has toured around all the high schools in Slovakia. The book itself has been published throughout this region, in Hungarian, in German, in Czech, in Polish, in Romanian, in Lithuanian, Latvian, and Russian. And the most exciting thing is what has come from Kazakhstan, and we're very fortunate to have the composer and producer of musical productions for Kazakhstan, Ludmila Melnikova. So won't you come up and say something about this?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ludmila Melnikova from Kazakhstan. My subject is teaching economics through music. Today, authors of the musical, Jonathan and Ventures, are here. This is Ken Schoolland. He writing a professor of economics, and I, Ludmila Melnikova, I am composer of the musical. This musical help helps children to understand main economic notions. We show different forms of performing the musical in pictures, at the theater, on TV. We show the musical in different countries, in Kazakhstan, Astana, in Shanghai, Bali, India, Mumbai, in Africa, Morocco, in America, in Puerto Rico. Now we are presenting it in Poland. Now we offer you to see our short film. Please show video. I commence. The authors of the musical, Schoolland and I, and the author, the idea file publisher. The art disc of the musical in Russian, English, Chinese. Schoolland and his novel. The musical is translated into Kazakh language. The authors, the musical, this is performance musical for school and children in Karaganda, Kazakhstan.
Я написала мюзикл по пьесе американского писателя Глена Schoolland. Вот так выглядит книга Глена Schoolland.
I'm curious about Glen Cripe book,
который поставили вам детки.
На неделю, что у тебя, я пожинаю свою репутацию. Свою репутацию? Ха! Что
So, watch the fairy tale, The Rabbit and the Turtle.
This is fairy tale, a rabbit
The
and
Little
turtle.
Horseman, Rabbit Lysander and the Turtle Frank.
All the pictures and
Rabbit
all the
Lysander
musical
started to work through the holidays.
made by
He ran fast, delivering post and packages, rang a bell and smiled to everyone. He brought packages to Hedgehog and Aaron, letters to Rabbit and Squirrel.
Здравствуй, Фрэнк!
the fairy tale. Rabbit and turtle with dolls.
Но я уже успел все разнести. А как у тебя идут дела?
We are in Astana at the International Economic Forum. Astana, Kazakhstan. The articles about our collaboration.
Hello, my dear children!
I'm on
Today
TV.
you are going to watch a new musical tale, Magic Island. The music for which are based on the book by American writer Schoolland.
I'm sure the count like Jonathan's
One
adventures.
Jonathan ran into a gale.
This is me on
Just
Kazakhstan
right.
TV in my
The
TV
waves brought
program.
him to a picturesque island coast.
Hello, sir. Let me help you carry your chest. What is it?
It's a dream machine.
Does it make dreams come true?
Well, it helps dreamers believe in their dreams and to make the dreams come true, maybe for other people, not for themselves.
All the pictures and all the music are made by me. This is my children musical theater by name Pёсар. in Kazakhstan. Children like Jonathan adventures. I ate Schoolland in China while eating. I ate my friends. This is the performance in Astana city. The school children tas on the stage. These all exhibitors and creators. Thank you for your attention.